Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So, like I said before, my phone is not working, so I can't talk while I'm recording. So, we're just going to stick with the voiceovers. But today, I am going to be making a dress for springtime with this. I think it's like an off-white Swiss dot fabric that I bought off of Rakuten. I am finally getting the hang of Rakuten and finding fabric and sewing supplies on there. But this is what we are going to be working with is a very sheer fabric, which is what I wanted, especially for the spring and summer months here in Japan. It gets really, really hot. However, when making this, I didn't realize it was like very, very sheer. So I do have to go back or get back to it after I'm done and add like a lining. But here I have already kind of like drafted a pattern. I'm getting back into making patterns for myself, mostly because of the fact that having to buy fabric, especially online and in Japan, and the fact that it's so hard to find patterns here, I might as well just go ahead and make my own patterns. And then I have started actually making the cup for my bodice. And at first, I thought it would be okay to use like a basic cup that will fit into the cup shape, if this is making sense, for the bodice. But it wouldn't give that ruffle effect. I didn't say it before. By the way, this is going to be a milkmaid dress. And for most milkmaid dresses, they have that ruffly shape, and I wasn't able to achieve that with just doing the cup that is going to be my shape. So what I ended up doing was cutting out the cup, and then I would snip it into eight pieces, and then put it back onto the drafting fabric, and then cut out a new cup for the piece, if that is making sense. Basically, what I did was just made a larger cup for this dress specifically. I can go into detail as to how I did that, but I honestly don't know. I just know it worked, and so we went from there. But yeah, I cut the pieces up. They were about like an inch over. You can see here how big the cup is going to be, but they're about an inch wide, and then I cut a strip, and it came out to be 8 strips. And then when I put it back onto the pattern, I also added an extra inch in between each one. That sounds so confusing when it's not being seen, but that's just what I did. Anyways, this is me just taking a look and kind of like surveying how the pattern turned out. I did end up kind of tailoring it a lot because I wanted the waist to be really curvy and fit with my body, but from what I'm doing right now, it was very loose. I also had to bring up the straps because I didn't want my chest area to be sagging so much, because this is going to be a dress without much support, which I will have to be getting like chest tape for. So there's that. But either way, I did bring up the straps, and I did take in the sides and the back just a little bit so that I could give a curved shape to my body. And as far as the cups go, I didn't do much with the cups, but that center piece, that front piece that was there, that is used to hold the cups up, I did also, you'll see it in later clips, I did take that in a little bit, because when I was tying the strap that will that again you'll see later when I was tying the strap for that, it did not look right, so I did have to take that in. Now here I am starting to cut out my pieces for the fabric, and I did not add any extra fabric for the seam allowance because that was already made when I did the pattern. And that's kind of another one reason why I do like making patterns, is because I could just add the seam allowance without guessing and then just cut it, because sometimes I honestly forget. Um, yeah. I actually really liked how this dress turned out. I do have a couple more pieces that I do want to make during March for the spring season. And I really am getting into like sheer fabrics such as Swiss dot because it's very whimsical. I know that's a new word that we're using in 2026, but it's very whimsical. I do like the sheerness of it and how much layers you can add. So I do want to work a lot more with it. This is just a clip of me working on the pattern that I made beforehand. And this was after I did the alterations for it, just to make sure that everything was going to fit okay. Um, and it ended up turning out very, very nice. I do love the way the bodice turned out. It honestly, you would think, I would think that you would have bought this at the store, but I did like the way it turned out, and I can't wait to style it. Now, this is me making the skirt. I didn't want it to be that much of a flowy skirt. I did want it to have a little bit of volume, but not too much. And I ended up like pleating it onto the skirt. Now, like I said before, it is very sheer, so I do have to put something underneath, but I don't want to put too much. And then this is the way it turned out. Now, off the body, it looks okay, but on the body, it does need a little bit of lining, and I'm thinking of using maybe a chiffon for it, but I haven't really decided. But either way, I do like how it turned out, and I will see you guys later. Bye bye.